Kiharu, by the way, to cover achana na hoja hii, maji ya dimu kidogo ndio. Mkiuliza swali kwa ikuwe sawa. Ronnie, you've been to Kiharu and I am grateful. And by the way, I want to request anyone who would want to come to Kiharu to look at what we've been doing. We are more than glad to host you. We don't do these things, especially of hosting people, because we want to blow our own trumpet. We do these things because I am convinced that if leaders started competing on the basis of what they are doing, the country would become better wholesomely. If our competition as leaders is deliverables, and we compete about who is doing what in terms of tangibles and development, is a very good discussion that you would have as MPs, for example, because we hold CDF, and that is the reason why we would be glad even to host you. We have hosted, I think, 4 delegations of my colleagues in Kiharu on benchmarking exercises. We actually don't call them benchmarking. We call them peer-to-peer learning, because I also learn from them. I am not an all-knowing, and I also learn from my colleagues a great deal. And in terms of, like the video you see around, me wearing some goldish shirt, I'm sure you have seen it. That was on 4th of January last year. It is not a recent, it's not a recent video. And we have been doing those things primarily because I think at some point I was not doing the right thing, and at some point I learned. And therefore I feel that if I share my experiences with anyone, and I also learn from them, the management of public resources becomes better. If Kiharu improves, any other Mvita improves, if Ebakasi East improves, if any other constituency improves, then Kenya holistically becomes a better place. And I want to underline, the leaders who come to Kiharu, they don't come to learn because I am all-knowing and I know everything. I also learn from them. And that is why I also go to their constituencies to learn what they do. And I also know majority are trying their best. Specifically to answer you now, is that the projects you saw in Kiharu, majority of it that we have done in our learning institutions, I actually did in my first term. In my first term, I was a member of a committee called Regional Integration. I think I have answered you. So, I'll still call you next year. I hope we'll still be doing better, hopefully. Yes.
Majibu Kizao from K24. Kuna swali mazangu alikuwa ameuliza kwa kifupi tu kuhusiana na wale wabunge ambao walikuwa wanakejeli kwa labda kujilimikizia pesa kuwatumikia wakazi wa Kiharu. Labda utawaambia nini? Tena nimeuliza alafu waibie siri kwa sababu si mara moja si mara mbili umeteuliwa kama mbunge bora.
Yes, my brother.
Mheshimiwa, I know you are doing campaign during 2022 and you have given Kenya a lot of promise. For now,
your name again?
Aden Ibrahim from KBC. For now, for the 2.5 years now we are there. Where do you rate in terms of development across the country? Because you are sharing that committee. In terms of development and what the promise that you have given Kenya, where do you rate this administration in the last 2.5 years? Have they achieved their goal? Have they achieved their promise in the last 2 years?
Okay.
Where do you rate?
Okay. Let me answer those two. I'll now try to be brief. One, my brother, your name? Majibu. Maswali yani anauliza swali. Majibu, my brother from K24.
Yes.
You've asked about Kiharu. I am always available to share our experiences in Kiharu. More than available. I mean, I have had sessions with my colleagues and I have explained to them basically what we do is optimization, labor-based implementation of projects. It saves us the profit that would have been made by the contractor. It also saves us a lot of cost. It guarantees quality also. And because it's something that needs a lot of time to explain, I am sure I'll give you some time. And yes. Ameuliza pia wale wabunge walisema mambo bungeni last week, nitasema nini? Nitasema, uniruhusu niseme kwa kimombo. As I said before, politics is up and downs. And politics is mutually exclusive. Because the things we chase for are the same. So sometimes, for a position to be created, one person has to forgo the years. And therefore, it's always a chase. So, you also have to define yourself as a leader, the things you want to engage in. And respectively, as I say so, if I ask you as my brothers and sisters who are here, I ask you what Kibaki told anyone in the year 2008 when he was president, you would hardly remember. You'd have to go to your files to check what Kibaki said. But if you travel through or on Thika Road Superhighway, you don't need to remember anything Kibaki said. You see it with your own eyes. So me, I believe that, yes, we have to talk as leaders because you have to explain where you are going, where you've come from. I mean, you cannot lock yourself in a room. You have to talk. But in many instances, I find that what is far-reaching and what is permanent and what is objective is more what you do than what you say. And therefore, in terms of what was said and whoever said it last week in Parliament, I would not be provoked to answer evil with evil, neither will I be provoked to answer an insult with insult. Time answers many things. Time answers so many things. I mean, if I allege, for example, if I come here and allege Kajim here is actually not from Kenya, and I say, no, I have evidence, he's actually not from Kenya. Only time. He may not need to say much. The truth and the facts have a way of outliving words. And I hold no grudge against anyone. It is too burdensome to carry any hatred. It is too heavy to carry any ill will against anyone. I mean, you can only do that to the advantage of the people who calculate to make you wander from your path. Oh, sorry, Aden, and I think I'm taking too long to answer questions. Aden, allow me today, you've asked me to rate the government. You know I've been chairman of budget. Definitely, I am likely to be subjective. In terms of rating of government, allow me not to answer that now because I just left this position barely a week from today. I am likely to be subjective, but I think as leaders from wherever we are, from MCA level to what I hold to every other level, there is always work to be done. And from my corner, hopefully I'll do my best to chip into that development so that entirely the country becomes better. But I also know, Aden, that, like all of you, I am a Kenyan, I live here, so I see what there is. So, so Kenyans are better judges than ourselves as leaders. Yes.
The last one is, what's your take on the traditional...
Your name is?
My name is Jeff from Nation 254.
Jeff?
And Jeff Kuzila, Nation 254.
Okay.
What's your take on the agreement between the opposition, Raila Odinga and the president? Will this agreement solve the issue of Gen Z's? Good, the other time Gen Z's went to the streets and they wanted some support from the government. Will this help the arguments have agencies?
Jeff, I think, but respectively though, usinibebe vibaya. Those are the areas that I don't want to go today because I don't want to distort the message for today. Since I'm around, Jeff, I'll give you audience. You know now I'm not as busy as I used to do or to be.
Maybe the last one on budget.
Yes.
Given the role you played in the last election.
Your name?
I am from Togo.
Okay.
Given the role you played in the last election, resulted in you being given that position. Now that you have been removed without even being informed by the leadership in Kenya, you feel betrayed by the leadership?
Thank you very much, Aemba. Yours is hapo katikati because it's both political but budget based. So that one I have to say something about. Kaemba, I am a human being. So when you see us politicians, we are also people. And it is, to be honest, I think that answer it suffices.
So maybe the last one now.
Yeah.
We've seen leaders when after the impeachment they consult. Raila Odinga was also moving around the country to consult after he failed in the AUC. Are we also going to see Ndindi Nyoro consulting also?
Stephen Leto, I have been busy as a politician, but I have also enjoyed a phase of quietness. I mean, you know that. When you are in the dance floor, politically speaking, you can't know even when it is raining outside, when the wind is blowing. You can't know when there is a storm. When you're in the dance floor, there is loud music and you are busy. This is an experience I've shared actually, Reto, with some of my colleagues. That sometimes as a leader, it is also important that you depart the dance floor temporarily, you go to the balcony, and also you learn. Learning may not mean you are consulting to outdo anyone. Learning may actually mean the dancing styles changed, but you are still fixed on the past ones. Learning may actually also not come by political conversations. It may come with just social interactions. So my is in tandem with the expectations of the people of Kenya. Any other question? So maybe nikimaliza, mimi niwashukuru sana. And I am available, as I said before, especially in regards to Kiharu. Anyone who would want to come there, you are free. And in any other fora that may be important for me to clarify some of the issues, I'll be available. Only that today I've restricted myself into the agenda of the day so that we can have a clear messaging on it. Okay. Then if the others, I can request we don't move so that we don't disrupt much. I'll take just a few minutes because, okay. Can I go ahead?
Maybe I could pause and just answer the 2 or 3 questions that you addressed.
Oh, you can ask the questions. Can I already nyabe juge kahudu? Okay.
For example,
Changed.
about the difference.
ale leke sasa monitor kusafsiria baadaye ama tufanye aje ama niendelee tu. Forgive me because I have to do this. I may not know many languages, but permit me to say one word in the language that I was brought up talking. Juge umuthi tu ni nyonire ni wega. Juge okaudo na koti kanene. Wa mbere juge igucokeria andu a Kenya ngatho. Kwa juge kanya kaunti ndare na kona ngana hari kira hotire na jokiria ndora turarutana na wira ngatho wiroe toi mundu wiki na wa muico ni ngwenda njoe kanya gaka nyendithirio riroire kanya kau wega imwe ndroi kaina tatia manu wa budget ndona ni wega njitane heane ndumiriri iyo umuthi wa muico mruhusu tuniseme hiki wa muico mambo ni mengi tutasema baadaye. Juge ndiracokia ciuria kiria woria na irie kuritio pere na githungu mahinda-ini maya kurathiaga uhoro uyu wa gucenjanio kwa ithi na ndirauga uguo tondu ni ngwenda kuraumu mundu ndirauga uguo tondu ni wega rimwe kuigaga indo record ni gutiri mundu uhurire thimu atongoria itu a coalition atongoria haki ni gutiri mundu uri wa ario raritio bunge last week miario ikario maybe irakiregemana nanie ta mundu kiumbe juga ni nyonete ndi mutongoria ungihota ndugacokie uru na uru ona ndugacokie kirumi na kirumi koguo ni ndigucokia uru wa mundu na uru na ndigucokia kirumi na kirumi kiki mahinda riria mahinda maheo mathaa mahinda mo mwenyewe ni mari anja tukuihoka tu o mundu hari ari ahinyie wira wake indi irugamagirira ona mita imwe ya gwa kabara koguo ni wega ni hakwa ni kiumbe nyonaga ni wega concentrate na mawira tondu wira niguo uguthie mahinda manene na wa muico fiu ni ta Ndindi Nyoro ni joy fiu kuma haria ni nyumite kuma family ria jiarirwo kuma maundu maria ndioneire na maitho ati ni Ndindi Nyoro tinya wakwa ukinyitie haha na koguo ni ngoragwo ngimenya ona maundu mangi maingi ti micoro yakwa na ugi wakwa ugi uria guo ni Ngai uheanaga na ni uria ngiuria mundu wothe uratwirorera ni kiria tuingiuria mundu wothe muciari wakwa my brother my sister ni magatuhoyagira kaingi na ni mwene ngoria mahoyagire kaingi niguo ngatuaga matua maria maratwarana na uria Ngai angienda ni tondu riria watua matua ta macio